nobody warns you how good it feels to cover a teddy bear in concrete. There's this moment, somewhere between pressing the wet mixture into the fabric and stepping back to look at what you've made, where you realize that the ridiculous idea you had while scrolling through a gardening video at midnight has actually, somehow, worked. What's started as a soft, floppy stuffed animal sitting on a workbench has become a solid, weatherproof garden sculpture that looks like it belongs in a boutique nursery or a designer outdoor living space. And the best part? You spent less than $10 making it, and the only skill you needed was patience and a willingness to try something that sounds absolutely crazy. If you have been looking for a DIY garden project that genuinely stops people in their tracks, that gets photographed every time company visits, and that grows more beautiful over time as moss and patina settle in, this is it. Keep reading, because by the end of this post, you will know exactly how to make your own concrete teddy bear garden planter from scratch. Let's start with the concept itself. Because before you can make one, you need to understand why this project works the way it does. The technique used to create a concrete teddy bear, and for that matter any concrete-covered stuffed animal or fabric sculpture, is a variation of a method that professional landscape artists call Hypertufa, or fabric hardening. The basic principle is straightforward. You take a porous material, in this case the fabric of a stuffed animal, and you coat it in a cementitious mixture that soaks into the fibers, stiffens around the form, and then cures into a rigid shell that holds the shape of the original object permanently. The stuffed animal inside essentially acts as a mold and an armature simultaneously. Once the concrete has fully cured, the fabric and foam interior are no longer structural. The outer concrete shell carries all the weight, but in most cases, they remain inside the sculpture indefinitely and cause no problems. The result is a garden ornament with the whimsical, instantly recognizable silhouette of a teddy bear, but the durability and weatherproof character of a concrete statue. Choosing the right stuffed animal for this project is your first critical decision, and it matters more than most beginners expect. The best candidates are plush animals with a firm, defined shape, the kind that hold their pose well when set down rather than flopping over. Bears, rabbits, frogs, and cats all work particularly well because they have clear silhouettes that remain recognizable, even after a coat of concrete blurs some of the fine detail. Size matters too. A stuffed animal between 12 and 20 inches tall is the sweet spot for a first project. Large enough to work with comfortably and fill with soil for planting, but small enough to be manageable when wet concrete is applied. Avoid animals with extremely thin limbs or delicate protruding features like long ears that stand straight up. These areas don't support concrete well and tend to crack or break off after curing. Thrift across the United States are full of perfect candidates for this project. Usually priced between 50 cents and $3, this is genuinely a project where a pre-loved stuffed animal gets an extraordinary second life. Before you apply a single drop of concrete, you need to prepare your stuffed animal properly. The first step is to open a seam, usually along the back or bottom, and remove most of the stuffing. You don't need to gut the animal completely, but removing the bulk of the filling serves two purposes. It lightens the finished piece significantly. Concrete is heavy, and it creates an interior cavity that you can fill with soil for planting once the sculpture is complete. After removing the stuffing, stuff the animal loosely with a crumpled plastic bag or an empty water bottle to maintain its general shape while you work. This temporary internal support keeps the limbs and body from collapsing inward when the weight of wet concrete is applied to the outside. Some crafters wire thin craft wire or pipe cleaners through the thinner limbs as internal support. This is an excellent idea for animals with slender legs or arms that might slump during the curing process. The concrete mixture you use is everything. For a project like this, you do not want to use standard ready-mix concrete, which is heavy, coarse-grained, and difficult to work into the fine texture of stuffed animal fur. Instead, use a fiber-reinforced concrete mix, a mortar mix, or the most popular choice among experienced concrete crafters, a blend of Portland cement and peat moss or perlite in roughly equal parts. This lighter, more workable mixture, sometimes called Hypertufa mix, applies easily with a brush, or your gloved hands, soaks into fabric beautifully, and cures to a lighter finished weight than standard concrete while still being completely weatherproof and durable. Mix your chosen blend to the consistency of thick peanut butter. Wet enough to coat surfaces and fill fabric texture, but stiff enough to hold a shape without running or sagging when applied vertically. Always wear waterproof gloves when working with concrete, as the alkalinity of wet cement can irritate and dry out skin with prolonged contact. Application is where the project becomes tactile and genuinely enjoyable. Work in sections, starting with the body and moving outward to the limbs, then the head. Use a stiff brush, a palette knife, or your gloved fingers to press the concrete mixture firmly into the fabric, making sure it penetrates the fibers and not just sitting on the surface. Aim for a consistent coat between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch thick across all surfaces. Thinner than 1/4 inch and the finished shell will be fragile. Thicker than 1/2 inch and the piece becomes very heavy, and the fine details of the bear's face and form start to disappear under the bulk of the concrete layer. As you work, pay special attention to the transition points between limbs and the body. These are stress points in the finished piece, and need thorough, consistent coverage to prevent cracking along those joints after curing. Once fully coated, place your concrete bear in a location where it can cure undisturbed for a minimum of 48 hours. Keep it out of direct sun and wind during curing, both of which cause the concrete to dry too quickly, creating surface cracks before the internal cure is complete. A shaded spot on a workbench or the floor of a garage is ideal. Some crafters cover the piece loosely with a plastic bag or damp burlap during the first 24 hours to slow the cure slightly and improve the final strength of the concrete shell. After the initial 48-hour cure, your bear will feel solid to the touch but is still gaining strength internally. Allow a full 7 days before placing it outdoors or filling it with soil. After 7 days, concrete reaches approximately 90% of its final compressive strength and ready for garden use. Now let's talk about turning your concrete bear into a living garden planter. Because this is where the project goes from cool sculpture to truly extraordinary. To plant inside your concrete bear, you need to create a planting cavity. If you left the opening in the back or top of the head open during the concrete application, which most experienced crafters intentionally do, you already have your planting access point. If the opening closed during concrete application, use a small masonry chisel and hammer to gently open a cavity at the top of the head or back of the bear. This doesn't need to be large. A 3 to 4 inch opening is plenty for most small plants. Fill the interior with a lightweight potting mix, not garden soil, which is too dense and compacts badly in small spaces. A mix of standard potting medium and perlite in a 2-to-1 ratio drains well and provides excellent aeration for the roots of whatever you choose to plant. Choosing the right plants for your concrete bear is one of the most fun creative decisions in the whole project, and the options are more diverse than most beginners expect. Sedums and succulents are the most popular choices because they stay small, tolerate the shallow soil cavity of the bear's head or back, and are extraordinarily drought tolerant, which is practical given how quickly a small planting cavity can dry out. Hens and chicks echeveria and sedum varieties, like Autumn Joy and Stonecrop, all work beautifully, tucking into the opening with their rosette forms, creating an almost crown-like effect on top of the bear's head. For a more lush, overflowing look, try Creeping Jenny, which cascades down the sides of the sculpture in golden or chartreuse curtains. Baby Tears Moss and Thyme can be tucked into small gaps where the concrete has cracked slightly over time, gradually colonizing the surface and giving the whole piece a beautiful aged, mossy character that makes it look like it's been in the garden for decades. Light requirements for your concrete bear planter depend entirely on what you've planted inside it. Succulents and sedums prefer full sun, at least 6 hours of direct sunlight per day, and will stretch toward the light and lose their compact, colorful form if grown in too much shade. Creeping Jenny and moss prefer partial shade and will scorch in intense afternoon sun. Position your bear accordingly. One practical consideration worth noting is that concrete absorbs and radiates heat significantly. A concrete sculpture placed in full afternoon sun in a hot climate like Texas, Florida, or Arizona will create a very warm microclimate around the planting cavity that can stress shallow-rooted plants during the hottest months. In these climates, choose a position that gets morning sun and afternoon shade, or select the most heat-tolerant succulents for the planting. In cooler northern states, the heat-absorbing quality of the concrete benefits your plants by extending the growing season on either side of summer. Watering your concrete bear planter requires a different mindset than watering a conventional pot because the drainage situation is unique. Concrete is porous, which means it absorbs some moisture and allows slow evaporation through the walls. This is actually a benefit because it prevents the soil from becoming waterlogged in the same way a sealed plastic pot would. However, the small volume of the planting cavity means moisture can also evaporate quickly in hot weather. The correct watering routine is to check the soil moisture in the planting cavity daily during the summer growing season by pressing a finger 1 inch into the soil. Water gently and slowly using a small watering can with a narrow spout, filling the cavity until water begins to seep from the bottom, or from any small gaps in the concrete. In cooler months, reduce watering significantly. Succulents in particular need to experience a dry period between waterings to avoid root rot, which is the #1 cause of plant failure in concrete bear planters. A good rule of thumb in cool weather is to water once every 10 to 14 days and let the soil dry completely between waterings. Fertilizing the plants in your concrete bear is simple and infrequent. Most of the small plants that thrive in this kind of planter are light feeders that actively prefer lean soil conditions. Over-fertilizing succulents and sedums causes rapid, floppy growth that looks out of proportion and detracts from the natural beauty of the plants. A single application of a balanced, diluted liquid fertilizer at half the recommended strength at the beginning of the growing season, usually April for most of the United States, is genuinely all these plants need for the entire year. If you've planted creeping jenny or other more vigorous growers, you can add a second light feeding in midsummer. Skip fertilizing entirely in fall and winter, when the plants are slowing down and resting, and avoid high nitrogen fertilizers entirely. They push leafy growth at the expense of the compact, colorful forms that look most beautiful in this kind of sculptural planter. Pruning and maintenance for your concrete bear planter is wonderfully minimal. The main task is removing any dead or damaged plant material as it appears, trimming back any growth that has become leggy or has overgrown the opening in a way that looks untidy, and repotting if the plants have genuinely outgrown the cavity, which happens slowly but does happen after a few seasons. If moss begins to colonize the surface of the concrete, encourage it. It's not damaging the sculpture, and it creates a beautiful aged patina that most concrete bear owners absolutely love. If your bear develops a crack along a limb joint or at a thin section, repair it promptly with a small amount of fresh concrete mortar pressed into the crack and smoothed flush. Allow it to cure fully before handling the piece again. A well-maintained concrete bear can remain a centerpiece of your garden for 15 to 20 years or more, gradually becoming more beautiful as it weathers, ages, and grows more moss. Common problems with concrete bear planters are straightforward to address once you know what to watch for. Cracking is the most common issue, almost always caused by one of three things. The concrete mix was too dry when applied, and didn't bond to the fabric properly. The piece was allowed to cure in direct sun or wind, or the internal plastic bag support was removed too early before the concrete had gained enough strength. Surface crazing, a network of tiny hairline cracks across the surface, is normal, expected, and actually adds to the aged visual character of the finished piece. Only cracks that penetrate the full thickness of the concrete wall are worth repairing. Root rot in the planted cavity, as mentioned earlier, comes from overwatering or from using dense soil that doesn't drain freely. Replace the soil with a fresh perlite heavy mix, and cut back watering dramatically, And most root rot situations can be recovered from if caught early. Fading of any paint or color wash you may have applied to the finished surface is inevitable in outdoor conditions. Simply reapply paint or a concrete sealer at the beginning of each season to refresh the appearance. The concrete teddy bear planter is the rare garden project that manages to be simultaneously whimsical and sophisticated. Beginner accessible and genuinely impressive. Completely affordable and visually priceless. Every person who walks past it in your garden will stop and look. Children will want to touch it. Adults will ask you how you made it. And when you tell them you found a stuffed bear at a thrift store, covered it in concrete, and planted succulents in its head, and show them the result, you'll watch them quietly decide they want to make one too. That is the mark of a great garden project, one that inspires. Go make yours this weekend. If you love learning about seasonal flowering plants, vegetables, gardening tips, and nature care, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Nature Nurture Hub. Your home for year-round garden inspiration. Let's keep growing together.